Good evening. Hello, conscious creators. Good evening, conscious creators. Welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox for January the 14th, Thursday, January the 14th, 2021. Welcome. And I'll wait a few minutes and see if you guys want to come on in and see what we're going to do tonight. So welcome. Hello, Joan. Hi, Joan. How are you? With a nice day today. Welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox for January the 14th. Welcome, guys. We're going to get started in just a minute or so. I think I turned the music down. I hope I did. I wanted to turn it off. I have to apologize to you all because I think I get kind of overshadowed with the music sometimes and I forget to turn it off. So I wanted to make sure that I turned it off tonight. So I did that. Anyway, I want to say hello to you all. I'm going to kind of get everything kind of set up over here. I'm kind of a little bit lagging behind. I wanted to log on to my laptop this evening. So good evening. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox for January the 14th, 2020. We're talking about connecting with our higher self this month in January. We're going to be spending a couple of more sessions on that. And tonight we're going to talk specifically about how to do it, how to make that connection. So come on in. Welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox. I'm Jean Aaron, life coach, teacher, life and accountability coach as well. So I'm going to be teaching tonight, kind of sharing with you on connecting with your higher self. I'm going to get started in a minute. I don't know if the music was kind of caught. I want to make sure that Facebook knows that we don't have any rights to the music. We just enjoy it. We play it, kind of help keep us company during the day. So we let them know that we have no rights to it. We're just enjoying it. So they'll, they require that we do that. So we got to give them the proper. No rights to the music whatsoever. We just enjoy it. So if we have it tagged on to the front end or the tail end of our video or our presentation, we just want to make sure that Facebook knows that. So welcome everybody. It is Thursday, January the 21st, January the 14th, 2021 is what it is. Welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox. And thanks for joining me. The Conscious Creators Toolbox is an opportunity to take a look at your creative abilities. We all have them. We inherit them from our Father, from our Creator, from our Maker. So we have creative abilities and creative powers, and we spend an hour, every week with the Conscious Creators Toolbox, taking a look at those creative abilities and creative powers. And tonight we're talking about our connection, and that is the source. That's a source of how we get access to the powers that we have. We have that connection with our higher self, and that higher self is always forever connected to source, to God, to the Most High, to the great I am, to the universe, to divine, whatever you call your higher power. That is who our higher self maintains a connection with. And it's our job, it's our responsibility to maintain an awareness of that connection. So we're going to be talking about our connecting with our higher self tonight, how we make that connection. We're going to talk about, that's the topic tonight, is making and maintaining the connection with your higher self. We're going to take a closer look at that. That's what we're going to do. So come on in, you guys. I'm Jean Aaron, life coach, teacher, a few other things, mom, grandma, friend, pal, whatever, some of those things. So welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox. And it's an opportunity, like I said, an opportunity to take a look at your creative abilities, your creative powers, and to understand and recognize and really embrace who you are. And I love to take the opportunity to tell you, to remind you who you are. You're co-creator, so you know, but I like to remind you and just let you know that you are a creator. You're co-creator with the universe, with each other, with us, with all of us. And we are created we're created out of the same stuff. Creator created us out of the same stuff that Creator is made out of. Creator is created out of Himself, and that's creation, energy. You know, we have the same powers and the same abilities that Creator has, and Creator has not withheld anything to us. We have an infinite, non-restricted access and supply of the abilities and powers to create and manifest the lives and the situations and experiences that we want to have, and that's who we are, and that's what we are, and that's whose we are. We belong to. We are connected to Source, our higher power, and that power is God and the Creator, creation, universe, divine, the great I am, Jehovah. I know people call that higher power, call God all kind of names, and I don't want to confuse anybody. So whatever it is that you call your higher power, that is your source. That's your Creator. And that source is made out of just pure energy, just raw energy, and we are too. We are too. We're learning how to manage it and how to take it out and embrace it and recognize it and be aware of it and use it to create and to manifest. So that's what we do on Thursday night. We take a look at those things and get used to them and familiar with them. So anyway, I hope everybody's had a great week. The week has gone by kind of fast. I was talking to a pal earlier, and we just noticed that it was Thursday, and yeah, it was Sunday the last time I think we talked. So the week is just speeding on by. I hope it was a good week for you. I hope it was. I know there's a whole bunch of stuff going on and around the world, and some of us are glued to the TV and to the news station, so we get wind of it, and we get a little bit, the rest of the world get a little bit discouraged and a little bit angry or upset about it, but we're co-creators and we know what's happening. So we maintain our positive vibrations and maintain that high vibration, and so we try to we that's what we do. We do that, and we let them stress about it and worry about it, but we know the real deal. So hopefully I'm praying that you all are managing to maintain a positive outlook and attitude and spirit about every and any and everything that's happening, because we know we know the score, we know the game, we know what's going on. So continue to be positive, continue to vibrate, keep that vibration high, because the world needs your love. The world needs your high vibration, your positivity. That's what the world needs. It's kind of lacking. It's kind of lacking somewhere out there. So we need to pump it up for them. So keep the vibrations high, keep them positive, and don't worry. Not to worry. All things work together for the good. Where everybody thinks it's going to be the worst thing, that's the outcome, but then when it all, God and the Creator gets finished, manipulating it and orchestrating what needs to be done, it turns out okay, and it always works out for our higher good, for the good of all, and that's the main thing. We want to be assured that things will turn out. They may not turn out exactly like we want them, but if we wait a while and we think about it and let things pass and just settle in on it, we just realize that that's the best. It couldn't have happened any better. So that's how we are. That's how we roll. So again, tonight we're going to continue talking about connecting with our higher self, and tonight's session specifically, we're going to be talking about how to make and maintain that connection with yourself. But first, I have a few announcements. Of course, I'll start off with a few announcements. I want to say hello and shout out to my family and friends over at Interfaith Truth Center out on Austell Road in Austell, Georgia, US of A. I'm still here doing my Thursday night Conscious Creators Toolbox. I'll ship you all the video as soon as I'm finished tonight, so you can post it on the website if you want to. But I'm doing that, and I want to let you know that I appreciate being a part of your ministry over there, your mission, and hopefully I'm meeting your approval, and want to invite my conscious creators, my viewers, to tune in, kind of log on to the website over there at Interfaith Truth Center and see what they're doing. They have other events and other sessions and training and workshops and classes going on over there that you can take advantage of as well. I know that on Wednesday night, last night, they had their meditation. They have a weekly meditation service or an opportunity to really understand what meditation is all about, and it's led by a really good friend of mine, Larry. Larry over there. So, tune in on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Most of the events, most of whatever, their events and their classes and workshops and things start at 7 o'clock over there. They have something going on pretty much every night of every day. And they are a gift shop and a resource center for metaphysical, and they have metaphysical material and books and things over there. They have beautiful crystals and gifts and just all kind of nice jewelry and books and cards and just nice. It's a nice gift shop. So stop in if you're ever in the area to see them. And again, take a look at the website. It's www.interfaith.com, and learn a little bit more about some of the other services and classes that they provide over there. So good evening, Interfaith Truth Center. I'd like to just remind you of our YouTube channel, our Instagram, and our Twitter platforms, and they're all Team Conscious Creators. So, take a look at them. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and make sure that you, like us and comment or whatever on that, and share. Make sure that you share the content and the information. I continue to download or upload the videos or the sessions that I have on Sunday and on Thursday night to the channel. So if it drops off of our Facebook page, you can always go over there and just kind of check them out again. Sometimes you want to go back and review some of those videos. Do that. Please share the links. Share the YouTube channel links with your network, your friends and pals, and also share the group page network. Now we're a private group now, and in order to be a member, before you could just happen to find us, but pretty much now you'd have to be invited by one of us or one of you. So invite your friends if you feel like there's a benefit to anyone that you might know or that needs some uplifting or need a little bit of kind of get that vibration going and a little bit more positive stuff going on in their lives and in their purview, and something that they can, that can feed their hearts and spirits. So just, share our group page with them, invite them to become a member. It's still open. We still take members, of course. Let's see what else I want to, did I invite you, Chris? Did that remind you of, did I say that remind you of welcome each? Yeah. Okay. And it's something I wanted to remind you of as I was talking to the life coaches that I work with, and I told them that, there's so much, people are just so depressed and worried and concerned and so much going on that we have decided, it's a team of us, it's a few of us, we've decided to offer just, if you need to talk with someone, or you need a life coach, or you have something going on in your life that you feel like that's something that maybe we could help you with, give us a shout out. We are offering 15-minute, either a phone call or a Zoom session, and to kind of answer your questions, to kind of help you get back on track, to kind of give you, pass on some of our energy and our vibration, to give you a little bit of encouragement. So you can find us at teamconsciouscreators.com. That's our website. You can get access to us, or you can just info at jeanaaron.com, and that will get to me, and I can kind of reach out back to you and see what we can do to help you out. And of course, that's like I said, that's a 15-minute session with us, no cost at all to you. And you can, if you need more, then we could talk about that in the future. But if you have a need for a life coach or an accountability coach, somebody to kind of talk you off the ledge, that's pretty much what I do, talk people off the ledge, and really trying to just kind of be there to, offer some encouragement, offering some resource opportunities for some resources that I can share with them. So if there's anything that you feel like that we can help you with, give us a shout. We're here to help. We're here to help. So I think that's Sunday 7 at 7 on 7 on Sunday, your mini life coach session, and that's also an opportunity to kind of feature a little spirit a little bit, to get just a quick little life skills lessons, or a coping skill lesson to to deal with, some of the stuff going on. We talk about different things. We talk about, how to maintain your vibration, how to manifest the things that you want in your life, how to, kind of overcome fear and worry and doubt, and how to manage in uncertainty. We kind of talk about several, those are some of the topics that we talk about. But still telling what we talk about, but every Sunday we have, anywhere from 15 to 30 minute session that we share some information with you. So tonight, we are continuing with the connection to our higher self. And I'm going to kind of take my time. I'm going to be referring to my notes because I don't want to miss anything tonight, because I've got some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, and I don't want to skip anything. So tonight we're going to be the topic is how to make and maintain your connection with your higher self. Now, I think last week, and I hope I kind of convinced you or made it perfectly clear that your connection with yourself, that connection with that higher self, is your foundational connection. And if you don't get that right, if you are, look at, you've got a table with 4 legs and one of those legs are missing, then you're going to have some problems with those, all kind of other connections and relationships that will be coming after this one. Actually, you must have a grounded, good, solid foundation with yourself, a relationship with yourself, and that connection with yourself before you can even think about connecting with anybody else. And that's even including source. You have to make sure that because this is what happens. If you don't have a good, solid relationship and a connection with you, who you are, and you're not comfortable with yourself, and you haven't given yourself a value or some worth, and you love yourself, and you've taken care of yourself, and you set those boundaries, and you're grounded in who you are, and you're comfortable with who you are, got that foundation down right. If you're missing a leg, then what's going to happen is you're going to take that same short leg, that three-legged chair, and you're going to try to have a relationship with God, and that piece of you that maybe you just feel like just not, you're not, you haven't really developed that value to yourself yet, or you haven't developed those boundaries or whatever. Well, then when you start having a relationship with Father, Source, and God, then you're going to take that same short change to that relationship, and that's going to just kind of snowball into the next relationship, and the next relationships are all going to be somewhat debilitated or have some disability going on. So we want to make sure that we establish, we make a solid relationship with ourselves, that we are grounded, we understand who we are, and we're living to the best of our abilities and our know-how of who we are. And we have set those boundaries, and we love ourselves, and we care for ourselves, and we understand and we know ourselves, and we like I said, we put a value on. We know what our self-worth is. No one has to come along and say, this is here, Gene. This. No, I know what my worth is. I know what my value is, and I take it to Source, and Source confirms it. Source confirms it. Of course, you are my daughter. You are my child. I created you out of the same stuff that I'm created of, and I've given you access to everything that I have. You are the princess. You're the prince. I'm the king. You're the child of the King, the Most High. So of course, I know that, and Father knows that. And you know what? When I go forth with any other relationships, if anybody happened to ask me who I am, I don't have no problems in telling them, I am Jean. I am a child of God. I am a co-creator with Creator, and I have the powers and the abilities and the self-worth, and I know my space. I know my space. So that's what I want. Before I even go any further tonight, I want to just reiterate that it is the relationship and that connection with yourself, that higher self, is your foundational basic relationship and your basic connection. So we're going to move on with that. How you make that connection tonight. So what is that? What is that connection, or that connection with your higher self? It's really the connection to the essence of the God source of who you are. I'm not talking about your personality. I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about, your good looks and how much you weigh in your bank account. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that essence, that life, that raw energy life that is the same source that God is, that Creator is, that stuff that you're made out of. That's you. That's the essence of who you are, and that's what I'm talking about. And that dwells really deep in the depths of us, real deep inside of us. And I want to remind you too that the journey into that deep you is the best journey. It's the most important journey. It's probably the most fascinating journey you will ever take in your life. You can go to the moon. You can go to the stars. You can go to to Bora Bora. You can go to where Hawaii. You can go all these places out here in the world, but it's nothing's going to compare to the journey that you're taking to yourself and begin to understand and really appreciate and know who you are. Then that's going to top any other trip you're going to take. Okay, so remember that. But that essence of who you are dwells in the depths of you, in the deep part of you. And again, it's source. It's source, light, energy, love, compassion. It's a connection to that. We call it higher, but it's deep too. It's a connection to that, to that higher power, that source, that life-giving source of who you are. That's the essence of who you are. And that it's a source of all the light and all the life within ourselves. And it's our true self. And it motivates. It's a motivation for our life, for our living. And it is our life. It is our life. Okay. So that's what that true higher self is that life-giving source that is the identical, the same as God, the same as source, the same as the higher power. Some of the benefits for connecting with your higher self and that higher power, or the benefits for practicing that connection. Because, it's, again, remember, I kind of reminded you that our awareness goes from, being aware of who we are, and then off to the world we go, and we're doing other things, and we kind of set that aside and tend to sometimes forget. And something has to bring us back and remind us. But when we practice that connection, what is the benefit of it? It connects us to God, and by God, to the all-knowing. It's a promise of guidance. It's a promise of peace. It's a promise of hope. It's a promise of harmony and illuminating light. All love, total unconditional love, and knowledge, discernment, wisdom. It's an access to all of that. To when you're connected to that, to your higher self and the source. And honestly, again, your higher self is always connected to source. You cannot not be connected to source. You can be unaware that you are. You can neglect that you might be, but you stay connected. But being aware of it, that's where you gain the benefit. Practicing the awareness of that connection is what it's basically what I'm talking about. Again, you're always connected. You don't always practice being aware of that, or practice that connection, or be aware of that connection. So that's what I want to do. I want to help you kind of focus on making that connection and understanding the importance of it, the benefits for you, what it's going to gain for you, and doing whatever it takes to spend as much time or as much of your awareness in that connection. Because in that awareness is the source of your life and access to absolutely everything. God is omnipotent. There is no end to God. There's no end to what God is and what God does and what's available to God. And when you're connected to that, you have access to all of that as well. So that's the basic benefit is you have access to everything God is and God has. So again, you're never not connected. You're never not connected because we are one with God. So we're never not connected with Him. But our awareness fluctuates back and forth, being aware and being more aware or being less aware. And that's how we roll. So because we're human. We're human, and we get distracted with the things of the world. Being connected to that source helps you also kind of move away from the distractions, understand how to manage those distractions so they won't steal your joy, because that connection, being connected with yourself and that higher power, you have just almost undescribable peace, a peace that goes without understanding. You're like, why? People look at you sometimes and say, all these things are happening and you're just smiling, you're just happy all the time. It's because you are connected. You have a peace that I can't tell you why I'm peaceful. And I know things are falling apart, and, I don't know, maybe where my next dime is going to come from, but I know it's coming, So, and that's because you have that assurance, because you've managed to maintain that connection and that understanding, and you're not going to be moved from it by anything that's crazy, the craziness that happens in the world. So being connected kind of helps us manage the distractions in our lives, because they're going to come. Distractions come. Life happens. It's going to come. But when we're solidly grounded and connected to our source, like I said the other day, you might knock me off a little bit, and I might teeter-totter or, bounce around, but I want to be like that clown that's got the weight at the bottom, and you push me down, I'm going to bounce right back up. And that's how we are when we understand who we are and whose we are and what we are and what's available to us and how we get access to that availability. So let me ask you something. Let me ask you this. Have you ever experienced a synchronicity? Just something that seems to just happen by happenstance, just by coincidence, but it's uncanny. It's like, wow, wow, where did that come from? Has that ever happened to you? Probably has. Most times, because we're so busy in this world and in life and stuff, some of those synchronicities come to us, and if we miss it, hi, how you doing? But we miss it because we are not paying attention, and we're distracted, and we've kind of moved our focus away from who we are, what we are, and whose we are, to what does this world got going on for me? What is happening? So my phone rang, I'm sorry, it kind of threw me off a little bit. So when those synchronicities, what's happening with those synchronicities, that is actually the time, or kind of, it's you're connecting, you're making that connection with your higher self and source, and source is in God, and the higher power, that connection is open, and it's open all the time. It's like I said, you're always connected, and the messages are coming. When you happen to notice those synchronicities, then that's kind of confirmation that you are connected, to remind you that you're connected, remind you who you are. So be attentive, be a little bit, try to catch it every now and then, because I know it probably happens more. Well, it happens to all of us. It does absolutely happen to all of us. The synchronicities happen to all of us. So I want you to start being watchful, being aware that they are, that I have a connection. The connection is there. If I just kind of, be watchful and attentive, let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what universe is going to, present to me or show me. And again, those are little nudges from God and nudges from universe to let you know that, hey, I'm still here. I still got your back. We're still connected. You're still one with me, and I'm still one with you. Because what happens with basically God, creation, creator, universe, whatever you call that higher self, that higher power, not the higher self, the higher power, always have a desire to connect with us, to be in contact with us, to be acknowledged and to be known. God knows us, and God wants you to know. God wants to be known by you, and God wants you to acknowledge that connection, and take advantage of that connection, be appreciative of that connection, because God loves us. He created us. He made us. And he wants to see us do good and be prosperous and do well and have the desires of our heart. So those synchronicities, those things that would happen to you every now and then, that's kind of a little, like I said, it's a little nudge from God, from the universe, to let you know that you're connected. We're one. You're still piped in. You might be off busy doing your thing, but, you're still mine. That's what creation says. You're still mine. We are made out of the same stuff. We're made out of it, and we're floating around in it. It's surrounding us. We cannot not be. The air that we breathe, the water, everything about it. And I'm going to encourage you to get out in nature sometimes, a little bit more often than you do. most of us, because we're busy doing everything else, get out in nature and really appreciate the fresh air, the breeze across your face, or just the smell of the whatever, the smell of the rain, or just get out there, hug a tree, just sit under a tree or lean against a tree, just connect, take your shoes off sometimes, and when it gets warm a little bit, and just to feel the earth between your under your under your feet, just kind of appreciate it, because that's God made this world. This is our creation, and it's all for us. It's all for us. All right, the connection. Also, did I say that it allows you? Oh, I didn't say this. That being connected also allows for you to have a greater understanding and be able to recognize limiting beliefs that you might have. Okay, just like those synchronicities come to kind of remind you of things, or little bonuses happen in your little life or whatever. Then it also gives you, that connection gives you an opportunity to have a better understanding about what you believe and don't believe. It also will, and once you recognize that you have a limiting belief, or you have a disharmony, or some restrictive energy, a low vibration or whatever, you can do something about it. You don't have to stay there. Once you are aware that, hey, I need to, seem to be a little bit down. I'm seem to be a little bit, my vibration is kind of off or whatever. I'm not as balanced as I should be, or I'm feeling a little bit, my peace is being disturbed or whatever. Being connected moves you back, brings you to that awareness, so that you can do something about it. You can make a conscious, intentional choice to fix that, to manage it, to rectify it. Those are just some of the benefits of being connected, or having that connection with your higher self and source. All right. Now, again, I want to just say that you are always, always, always a part of creation. You're always, always, always one with God. You're always, always one with the universe, one with divine, one with creation. You're never separated from it. The only separation is you've moved your awareness away from it. But you are forever one with God. We are forever one with God, forever and always. But it is our responsibility to develop and maintain that awareness of that connection, okay? And to take advantage of it, reap the benefits of it. We have to do that personally, or we have to be we have to be distracted from it, and we're off doing, worrying about, did they count my vote, whatever, those kind of things. But no, we're not. We're kind of calm and cool, and we are aware. So, what we need to know, what we need to know when we need to know it. If we stay connected to our higher self, guess what? It's revealed to us. The understanding comes, and it comes in the nick of time sometimes, but it comes. So stay connected. And again, it is our responsibility to stay connected, to maintain an awareness of the connection, and to understand what that connection does for us, to understand it and to appreciate it. Now, again, it does not matter to me, to God, to higher power, to whatever you call God. It doesn't matter what you call God. Just recognize that God is. Creation is creation. Understand that. Understand that I am one with God. Understand that when you say I am one with God, understand what you're saying, and appreciate it, and sometimes be at awe about it, because you kind of wonder, you're like, okay, if I'm one with God, why is all of this stuff going on, or all these wonderful things happening in my life? So, be appreciative of it, be thankful for the fact that you are, and seek, deliberately, intentionally seek more understanding and more awareness. There is no end to the extent or the depths of your awareness. So always understand that your awareness can evolve just like you are, can grow just like you are, can expand just like you do. You can get more understanding as you open yourself up to being available to receive it. then guess what? Universe is going to pour it in, going to pour it out to you. And then universe is going to give you whatever you need to discern it and understand it and to digest it and to make it a part of your life and your life skills so that you can manifest and create even bigger and better and more things in your life, more and more experiences in your life. And I don't want to just say things, but we want experiences. We want to manifest connections and relationships, and we want to manifest peace. We want to manifest love. We want to manifest unconditional love, and then not just for us, not just for our benefit, but we want this for the higher good of all. Because remember when we vibrate, when we are doing good, when we're doing our best and we are vibrating and we're living a positive and fruitful and prosperous life and vibrating off the chain, it automatically raises the vibration of this world. It's not just about you. When you're down in the dumps, guess what? It's slowing down the vibration of and the energy of the world. Is changing that shift in that energy in the world. So maintaining a high vibration is not only for your good and the good of those in your immediate surrounding, but somebody way across on the other side of the globe is benefiting because you're positive and you're upbeat and your vibration is off the chain, so to speak. So be positive. Be positive for you. Be positive for this world, because you know what needs it. You know what. You've been watching the news, so you know what's going on. You know it needs it. So again, it doesn't matter what you call God. Call God, call God Jehovah, call God, the tree, whatever you want, the sky, whatever you want. But understand who and what, and just who God is, what God is, and appreciate that. And understand that you too are God. You too are God, because you're made out of the same stuff that God is made out of, and you're one with God. So you're just like God. You're just like God. I think that maybe one of these days I'm going to have to plan to have a talk about what we truly believe about God individually. Not so much because we can look around the world and see what the world believes about God sometimes, or our surroundings, but what is it that we believe about, truly believe about God? Because your life, how you live your life and how you experience your life, it's a total reflection of what you believe about yourself and about the world that you live in and about God, or disbelief, or lack of belief, or strange kind of belief, whatever. So but maybe I might plan that, because belief is also it is one of your creative powers. It's part of that toolbox. It's in your toolbox. So we might talk about belief, and belief specifically in what you believe about your maker, your creator, your creation, creation. Might talk about that sometime. But we're talking about connecting to your higher self. So we're going to continue on that tonight. Anyway, let's see. What did I want to say? I did tell you that the source is forever desiring to contact us, to be in contact with us, to be in a relationship with us, to have an experience with us. We can't have an experience without Creator, whether we are aware of that or acknowledge it or whatever. But it's nice to acknowledge it, because it just gives you a boost. Kind of gives you a boost when you really know, when you know where the gas is coming from. Okay. Gives you a boost. The divine self is wise. It knows all and is always showing you an easier, better, more joyful way to live. That's what creation does. It just opens up the bounty of understanding and wisdom and compassion and love, and it's just there for your taking. You just got to believe that it's there and available to you, and off you go. All right? So how do we connect to that self, that higher self? A lot of different ways. There's many, many different ways. I'm going to talk about 3 tonight real quickly. I'm not going to go too much in depth, because I'm going to see myself going to be running out of time if I try to go too far. A little bit more. I got a few more minutes. Anyway, there's 3 ways that if we don't finish tonight, we'll finish next week. But three things I want to kind of touch on. I want to kind of point out And one of them is we can use the power of intention. Now, that is one of our creative abilities and our creative powers. And we've talked about intention before in manifestation. We've talked about it a little bit. So we can use that. We can have an intention. We can intend with, I intend to maintain, to make and maintain a connection with my higher self. Bottom line, that's my intention, because I know that I understand the benefits that I will reap and I'll gain from that connection. So I'm going to focus that. That's going to be a focus in my life, and things that I do in my life is going to be something. They're going to have something to do with the fact that I'm connecting and I'm making that connection with my higher self. I'm going to be prayerful. I'm going to be intentional and purpose. I'm going to be make sure that I acknowledge and I'm aware of whose I am and what I am, and I'm going to walk out, and I'm going to talk it when I'm speaking to people. I'm going to let people know that I'm a co-creator, and I manifest my destiny, and I know that, and I know this because I am connected with my source, and I'm connected with my higher power, and my higher power gives me access to source. So I'm good. I can do that with intention. I can deliberately intend with purpose, live my life, carry myself throughout my day with that in mind, with that purpose in mind. That whatever I do, I'm going to keep my mind stayed on Jesus, as they say, or stayed on my connection with my higher power. Another one we want to talk about is a little bit. We're going to kind of glaze over most of these tonight. Is meditate. We can meditate regularly. Now, there's a lot of different ways to meditate. A lot of different ways, and I think I'm the world's worst at meditating, but I am learning to do it in a different, unique way, and I'm going to share some of those ways with you to kind of a little bit tonight, and maybe finish up next week. But meditating is a wonderful way of developing or making that connection, because what you're going to do, what you're doing with meditation, is you're centering your attention on your heart, and you're allowing your intuition, that energy, between that energy part of that higher self, you're allowing your intuition and your heart to communicate and to have a nice conversation and a relationship and understanding. So in meditation, you're using that. Meditation, sometimes you just, like I said, there's many different ways to meditate, and I'm going to kind of share a couple of particular ones that I use and other folk that I know use. Another way to connect with your higher self, higher power, your higher self, is journaling. And of course I was going to say that because everybody knows that I believe in journaling, and that's, my kids say, "Oh my God, Mom, yes, I always had a diary, and I always wrote, and I always talked to dear diary or dear Jean or dear higher self or dear God or whatever." Yes, so journaling is also another way of doing it. I kind of touched on it a little bit last week, but we're gonna again talk a little bit more about it this weekend into next week. Now, the pathway to your higher self is through your heart. It lies within your heart. That is that connection, that's the way, that's the pathway to that connection. And your intuition. Now, when I was doing this research, it said something about your rational mind, and my ego kind of like perked up, like, "Ooh, am I part of this?" No. I'm sorry, ego, you're going to have to, you're going to help me process some things, but right now you got the day off, you got some downtime. So ego has no part of this relationship or this connection, okay? The only thing the ego is going to be good for is to maybe help you once you receive this wisdom and receive this understanding, is to come back, and maybe ego might be able to help you articulate it or be able to express it, so that you won't be sounding like you just inhaled a whole bunch of helium, so you're trying to talk so that people can understand what you're saying. So that's what ego's going to do. We always want to give ego a job, okay? We do not want ego to think that we don't need ego, okay? So make sure that intuition's in this going to be take the lead on this ego, but ego, we're gonna be back to you. We're gonna need you to hang in there. Take a break. So, but when I was doing the research, they said rational mind. And I said, rational mind. And again, I was telling you, when I said rational mind, and I kept reading, and ego was like sitting on my shoulder, kind of listening. Yes, you're going to need me for this. No. Rational mind, I think they should have said intuition. So the center, your heart center, you're going to use your heart center, and you're going to rely on your intuition. Those are the two things that's going to play in the communication, or in that pathway, that exchange, if you will, for understanding, the discernment, and really gaining the understanding, the knowledge and the understanding, and passing it on, helping, and again, ego is going to help you bring it down to the earthly realm, if you would. Okay, so while there are a number of ways, again, to connect to the higher self, a lot of people beginners, people that are new to the experience, they start with this, and this is one of the easiest, and that is, the heart, practicing the pathways with the heart. All right, and I'm gonna give you five or six examples, and I'm gonna go really, really quickly, because I'm gonna have to really pass it on to next week to really go into details about this particular meditation method. But number one is we focus our attention not so much of where our heart is, because we know our heart is wherever it is, but what I say is I focus in the center of my chest, and I focus my attention there. That's where I put my attention, and I focus my awareness there, and I try to notice any changes, any sensations, or any kind of signals that I might get from in that space, and that's a heart chakra. You might think about it as the heart chakra, if you have an understanding or awareness of that particular center. But and if you have a problem with it, say if you're sitting there and you're focusing and you just don't get it, then maybe we want to take a look at that heart center and see if maybe you've got some blockages going on or whatever. But you should get some sensation or some sense of movement, or just something to let you know that, oh yes, I have that. My intuition is just something. I feel a disturbance. I feel something sensation there. So we're going to focus our attention in that area, the center of our heart, the center of our chest. The second thing is we want to kind of, again, just sometimes it's just very subtle. Sometimes you just, like, what was that? Well, that might have been it. It was so subtle that you may miss it. Focus. Focus means, tuning out all the other stuff. No disturbances, all the other stuff. And you are centered right here. Your thoughts and your mind and everything that you can muster is centered right in the center of your chest. And that's where you start looking for or waiting for some signal or some sign of some movement or sensation that's taking place in that heart area. Okay? The third thing, and again, we're going to go into a little bit more practical understanding of it next week. When we are connected to our heart, we want to acknowledge and understand that I am connected with my higher self at that point. When we finally make that connection, when we're focused and we get the sign that, oh yeah, I felt something, I sensed something, or I had this something just kind of came to my intuition, or an inner self. My inner self felt something or felt an understanding. Then we know that we are connected. So then we acknowledge that and we appreciate that awareness. Now that we become aware of it, as subtle as it might be, we've become aware of it. And once we have felt, and once we have made the connection, we acknowledge it, and all the subtleties or just a minor sensations that we get, we begin to just visualize or envision or imagine in our thoughts or in our hearts that we have an exchange. We have a pathway to infinity. We have a pathway to anything. We have access to source. We have access to everything that God has. We can do this. Now I just got to figure out, how do I make some exchange. And that's where, again, we focus on that and we sit and we wait to see what kind of be in a receiving mode, to receive whatever it is that source, God, creation, our higher power, divine, the universe wants to pour into our hearts, all right? And again, your intuition is going to play a big part of this. And we'll talk a little bit more about intuition, kind of intuition and ego. We'll kind of do a kind of a comparative, maybe next week. But once we get to that point, we want to, again, be in a receptive mode of receiving whatever, and no matter how slight it is or little it is, if you recognize that it is, whatever the awareness is, appreciate it. And like I say, you get a little bit more, and it just grows and grows. The more you can connect, and the more you can identify, receive, and become aware of just the subtle sensations. At first, they'll grow bigger and bigger, because especially if you have been a long time in making that connection and sensing that connection. I mean, we know that we are connected, but to really sense it in your heart space and in your deep being, it's a whole different feeling. It's a whole different exchange of life. It's just undescribable, and it's going to be unique to all of us. My sensation and my feelings and my connection with my higher self is totally different than yours. Your feelings could be totally different. It could come in blasting at you. Mine comes in kind of gentle. Just nudging me kind of gently. Some people, they just get so overwhelmed that they cry, or they just feel so overwhelmed. It's almost unbelievable. It's just, sometimes it's so, too much sometimes. But with me, it's real gentle. It's a real soft and gentle. And with you, you're going to find out it's going to be your thing. It's going to be your connection, your relationship, and your exchange with your higher self and your heart and because we're all different. We're all different. So then that, like, again, once you make that connection and you've got, that you're receiving, you acknowledge and aware of that, then you start conversing. You start having conversations, and you start talking and asking questions. And I say that's when prayer is real at that point. We go to bed at night and we say our little prayers and we're done, But when you can pray and you know that you're connected, and you know that God is listening. God listens all the time, but you know it, you sense it, you feel it, you have the sensations going. It's a whole different level of prayer, a whole different level of communication. So, number one, focus. Number two, look for those subtle differences. Number three, once you're connected to your higher self, appreciate it, love on it, acknowledge it, give it some high five, whatever, but just be aware. Just demonstrate that awareness to your higher self. Have that relationship, because it's like two people. It's like the observer and the observed. Okay, it's like the observer and the observed. At that point, you have connected with the observer. All right. And then the observer changes and it starts communicating and sending you things, and then you're the receiver, and so it is kind of a strange way to split that being that you are. Kind of odd, but it is. But anyway, number 4 is, again, once you feel that energy flowing in you, feel it, recognize it, acknowledge it. And understand that your heart is linked with infinite, with the source. And the 4th is, now you can start having conversation, and you can start talking, and you can start asking questions, and you can ask anything, whatever it is you want to ask, and you wait for the answer. Sometimes you get it right away. Sometimes you'll get it, in the middle of the night. You wake up and, boom, there's your answer. So be patient with that. Know one thing I want you to understand is know that you will get an answer. You will get an answer. The answer will be given. You just have to be in a position to receive it and to hear it. So, and to understand it. And the sixth thing, number 6, it says that note that this is the time the ego is going to probably pop its little head up. Okay, so be cautious of that. Be cautious that when you're receiving from your higher self, it's ego is going to try to help you understand what it is. Well, no, let your intuition do that for you. Use your intuition to gain an understanding or receive the message, not ego. Ego's still on break. Okay, you have to keep reminding ego sometime that you're still on break. So it's not an ego thing. When you start receiving, it's not an ego thing. It's not still not gonna go to our mind at that point. We're still gonna use that into our heart and the intuition to receive and to get an understanding. And that's I think that's what they meant when they said rational mind, because I got to go back and figure that one out. Anyway, ask questions, and ask yourself questions evaluate what you're receiving in your heart and with your intuition. Sometimes it may not make any sense. A lot of times, I receive things from my higher self and from Source and from God that I'm like, I can't say that. I mean, or I don't understand, or whatever. So sometimes it'll be just something that's way off the chain or whatever. But then you just sit with it a bit, write it, maybe make a note in your journal about it, and meditate on it a few days or whatever till a peace comes, and a peace will come about the answer or whatever it is that you received. It'll come. So you evaluate it. And I think there's 2 more things. And the final thing I want to say, once we evaluate, trust. Right? That's when your trust is going to kick in. Ego's still on break. Trust is going to kick in. Ego's going to be out here trying to help you understand it. Like, I think this is what no. Let you and your intuition, you and your heart deal with this. And then finally, you might at some point when you're going back and you're talking and you're rationalizing, then you and ego can have a little pep talk, and you can bring ego in on it and see what's going to happen at that. But sometimes you still have to tell ego, no, we're not going to be worried, we're not going to be afraid, we're not going to be second guessing. This is what God said, this is what was given to me, and this is it. And don't let ego talk you out of it, because if it's something that ego might think that it's not going to be for you. It's not going to work in our world. And it might. You may have to sit ego down again and have a long talk. So we're going to talk about ego, because ego is kind of cool, but still ego. Have to remind ego who the boss is, though, for sure. But anyway, trust the answer that you receive. Trust it, even though it might seem a little bit bizarre or a little bit off, or it's maybe something is missing on it. Wait. Just trust that you will understand it. You will get a discernment, under spiritual understanding about it, or an understanding and a peace will come about it, because everything that comes from God, comes from your higher self, is for your higher good. It would not be coming from your higher self if it was going to be not for your good. If it comes to your heart and your intuition receives it, it is for your higher good. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go any further. I was going to kind of talk a little bit more. And use your journal. When you're receiving this, when you're going through these steps, and we'll go through them again next week, because I really want you to understand. And that is a form of meditation, by the way. All of this is a form of meditation. I want to go into a little bit more details with all of the 7, 8 steps, I think. I want to go into a little bit more details about it, because I want you to understand, what that center is, and how to identify some of the sensations that you get, or how to sit just quietly to receive. What are you doing while you're waiting to receive? You're twiddling it. What do you do? Whatever. Sometimes what I do is I'll just get a piece of paper, or make sure I have a pen and a paper with me, and if something comes to my mind, I'll jot it down. And sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't even sound like it's related to whatever is going on, but eventually, maybe before I finish or end, it's coming clearer to me. Or maybe a couple of days later, it's something going about my business or going about life, and then something will happen, and it will bring my mind back to that time that I spent with my higher self. And I said, oh, okay, that's what that is all about. And then I can go back to it and really understand how I am to use that going forward in manifesting whatever it is that's going on in my life at the time. We're going to talk a little bit more about it because I think to me, it's, again, one of the best and the most rewarding relationships and journeys you could take is that journey with yourself and understanding who you are and having that connection and having that relationship and having that communication. It's the most intimate, and that's one. A lot of people say, well, can you meditate in a group? This particular meditation requires the meditation. This one requires that it's just you. It's you and your higher self. That's it. It's a very intimate. You don't need a crowd. You don't need a partner, because you got a partner. You got a partner that's patiently waiting for you to make that connection. That's that partner. And again, it's the most rewarding and the most beneficial relationship and connection that you will ever, ever, ever have. If you haven't had it, you're going to get it, because I'll make sure you're going to at least get all the tools ready for it before the end of this month, because we're going to be talking about making that connection, having a connection with your higher self. I appreciate you guys joining me and being with me tonight. Hope you be with me next week. We're going to talk a little bit more about making that connection and maintaining it. So just, come prepared. Practice that. And again, I kind of told you it's in the center. It's not really the heart. Don't think so much of that your heart, or the thing that do. Just that's the center of your being. It's that center of your being. That's that center. That's the heart center. Just concentrate on that. Focus on that. Practice it. Just practice it. Just when you just stop sometime during the day and just stop and just quiet yourself and just focus all of your attention on that area right here in the center of your chest and see what happens. Just practice it for a while. So that is it for tonight. I appreciate you guys, and I hope that you are as excited as I am, because I want some reports. If you all are out there and you're practicing this and you're moving forward in it, and doors are opening and that connection is happening for you, please share it with me. Inbox me, let me know, because again, you're not going to be disappointed. You are going to be so excited when it happens, because then you will realize that you have a friend that's been there all along, just waiting for you, and that it's not going absolutely anywhere, and ain't nothing you can do to boo it away or chase it away or whatever. You're gonna know that you will never feel alone. You will never feel alone again, ever. Okay, once you make that connection. Nothing will rock your world either, too, because you say, well, hey, somebody's got my back. Guys, I love you, and I appreciate you. I appreciate the fact that you are conscious creators, co-creators with one another. I hope that you are manifesting the life that you want, and not have to redo a lot of stuff, that you're moving forward and you're evolving and you're going up the spiral. Every now and then you have to slide back down, but you keep going up the spiral. Manifest best. I will see you hopefully on Sunday for 7 at 7. And if not, I'll see you right back here next Thursday at 7 for how to make the connection with your higher self and how to maintain the connection with your higher self. God bless you. I love you. So does God love you. And so does your higher self love you. All right? Take care, and I'll see you guys next week. Manifest best.